Hey YouTube, what's going on? So for today's video we have something a bit different and something I think is going to be pretty cool, and that is a compilation of all the best crashes I've got on camera of myself or my mates riding the past 5 years. So from 2015 to 2020, all the crashes we've had or that I've caught on film without filming, whether it's Instagram clips, phone clips, or from some of the YouTube videos you've already watched. So the plan for the video today is I've got just over a 5 minute long compilation of all the crashes with some music to it. So that's going to start in a second, so hopefully you guys really enjoy that. And then after the compilation, I'm going to pick a couple of the crashes that I think were significant or pretty big or just interesting and talk about the story behind it a little bit. So here comes the compilation. Hopefully you enjoy.
No. Yes. Yo! Oh! Go ahead. Oh! Oh. Oh, it is the one. Oh! Damn, you...
Sweet guys, so hopefully you enjoyed that 5-minute compilation of some of the best crashes of myself and all my mates we filmed over the past 5 years. Unfortunately, crashing is part of the sport and it does suck a lot sometimes, but it does make for some pretty funny and epic footage, and it makes it that much better when you do have a big crash and you get the trick. So the first crash I want to talk about is actually the first one for this compilation of the 270 on the hip at Dirt Nats. So I'll play that now. So this was at the Dirt Jump Nationals in 2016, and it was about 20 minutes into the practice in the course, just getting warmed up, and my friend Hamish Burrow had just 270 the hip first try and said I should give it a go. So I gave it a go, spun a little bit too hard and overspun, and now I did overspin it a fair bit. I didn't think it was that bad. But when I landed, I actually ended up blowing out my back wheel, so popping the tire and exploding the tube, but I also blew out my front wheel. And I've never seen that happen to someone else, blowing out both wheels over rotating in three, and it's actually the only time it's ever happened to me, so I thought that was kind of interesting, landing sideways enough to explode both wheels. I actually didn't get hurt at all, but my bike did need 2 new tubes. Sweet, the next crash I want to talk about is the Cork 720, where I missed the landing. So this was in Australia at my friend Andrew Nilblett's yard. I'm all good. So I hadn't done a Cork 720 in quite a while on this day and decided to pull back from because I wanted to land one, and I did end up landing one that day, but for some reason when I Cork 720 now I tend to, even though I spin to the left, I tend to alley-oop and drift to the right a fair bit. And this was the first attempt of the day, this one where I missed the landing. And so I pulled a little bit hard because I was a little bit nervous, spun a little bit overspun. I actually ended up completely missing the landing and actually caught the edge of the landing. And now I remember when I was in the air, I came around with about 90 degrees to go and I just thought, oh my goodness, I'm about to die. But somehow managed to sort of catch the edge of the resi a bit and actually not get hurt at all. I did end up bending my phone actually, which was kind of funny. But other than that, didn't get hurt, so that was pretty good. And actually, I did the same thing again on my airbag landing, or the double airbag landing setup as well. So I'll play that Cork 720 clip as well. Sweet, so another clip on exactly the same setup actually as the double airbag landing was this front flip bail here. So this front flip bail was gnarly. I'm actually super lucky this was on an airbag landing, because if it wasn't, like, I probably would have gone to hospital if that was on the hard ground, or maybe even worse. And so what happened is I got this really bad habit when I front flip, where sometimes, like, when you front flip, you pull up and then you just throw yourself forward and kind of do a bunny hop off the lip to start the rotation. And every now and then when I do that, I seem to throw myself forward, everything feels right, but then I don't know, I kind of panic and throw the bike to try and bail out of it. And now, bailing on backflips is all good because you'll just roll around and like sort of run down the landing or whatever. But on a front flip, you're just stuck on that upward trajectory launching forward and you just end up landing on your head, or like, it's just so awkward, there's no way to get out of it. And as you can see from that one there, and actually the other front flip I had on the resi, it is not a good situation to be in. I was super lucky to get out of it without getting hurt. Okay, following on with the front flip crash kind of trend, these next 2 clips here of my mate Hamish Burrow at Farm Jam this year, crashing on some front flips. So the first one, he just lets go, bike hits him, he's all good. Like, absolute animal, no shirt on, bike must have scraped up his back, he's all good. But the second one's the one that hurt him. So on the second one, which I'll play in a moment, he popped up, just decided to hang on because he thought he had it, and he actually under-rotated, ended up landing hard on his backside. And you see him grabbing his back or his butt at the end there. And what he didn't know is on that crash, he actually broke his back. And the crazy thing about this is he broke his back. He stopped riding for the day, but he didn't know it was broken. He carried on, went to the after party, carried on working for a few days before he went to the hospital, and they actually told him he had a broken back. So he broke his back and then went to the after party afterwards without getting it checked out. Absolute unit. Be sure to follow Hamish on Instagram because he is a crazy good rider. The next crash I want to talk about is this double flip bail into the water. So this is my friend Andrew Nilbett in Australia in, I think, 2016. So we'd set up this ramp into the river and it was really fun. He decided to try a double flip off it. And now this bail doesn't look too bad, so it looks like he just flips and throws his bike and then lands in the water like a standard bail. What you can't really see is on this bail, he landed like almost lying down like this on top of his bike floating in the water. So he hit the bike and it just would have hurt so bad. I can imagine how much that would have hurt, and that really sucked for him. Okay, this next one is a more recent one. This is my little sister Hannah, the first time she tried to jump the airbag landing. If you haven't seen that video already, what happened is Hannah, she followed me into the ramp a couple times to gauge the speed. Then I said, all right, sweet, I'll film you ride jumping it yourself. Just make sure you go the same speed. And for whatever reason, Hannah did about 4 more extra cranks. I guess because she was nervous. She ended up jumping so far, you can't really tell in the video, but her front wheel actually landed on the grass. Then she went over the bars straight to the grass. So essentially, she could have done that jump with the airbag landing there, and it would have had the same effect. But crazily enough, she actually got up and like 10 minutes later sent it and got it perfectly. So real impressed with Hannah on that one because that was a heavy bail. Maybe the heaviest anyone's had in the airbag lander. Alright, so the last crash I want to talk about is the very last one in the video and potentially the worst crash I've ever had. Well, not the worst crash I've ever had, but the worst crash I've ever got on camera. And that is the flip to sort of face bounce I had. So I was in Wanaka, this was in 2016 with my mate Callum Holloway and Sam Proctor, and I decided, I should try and do a mini flip off the side of this quarter pipe into the grass bank. It'd be pretty cool. And so for whatever reason, I just went way too quick, and I sort of, originally my plan was to pull up off the side of the quarter pipe, not off the top, but as I rolled in, I'm like, oh, I might as well pull up off the top, it'll be all good. And I went pretty quick, and I pulled up, and I just pulled too hard, like I misjudged it. If the hip hadn't been like a step down to the grass, it was the same size as the quarter, I probably would have landed it, but because it wasn't, I pulled up, came around, was just going way too quick, way too overspun, and it just ended up completely smashing my side, just tackling the ground, hitting my head. Now, in the clip, it does look like I might have got knocked down and stopped, but I actually just sort of hit the ground and just sat there for a second to make sure I was okay. Then I got up. So no knockout, no injury at all. Actually, crazily, like I actually didn't really get hurt. Like I got dazed and scared, but I actually ended up riding trails later that day for about 3 hours, having an awesome session. So that was pretty cool. So again, like probably the worst crash I've ever got on camera, but in reality, in terms of injury, not that bad. And sweet guys, so that is all the crashes I got on camera in the past 5 years. I really hope you've enjoyed watching myself fail and my mates fail. And I guess it gives a bit of perspective as well as some of the time and effort that goes into learning some of the tricks that you might not see in every video. And I thought it was pretty cool to talk about as well. I actually enjoyed telling the stories about some of these crashes. I hope you guys enjoyed the stories as well. Let me know in the comments below if you did enjoy these stories and you enjoyed the crashes. And maybe leave some comments if you want to see more videos like this of me telling stories of, crashes or potentially events I've been to or whatever. That'd be pretty cool because I'd be happy to do more videos like that. In any case, it does give me the end of this video, so thank you so much for watching if you got this far into the video. I'd really appreciate it if you gave the video a like, so it helps the video get into the YouTube algorithm. Leave some comments and subscribe if you're new. We'll see you in the next one. Cheers!